Hi everybody, it's 314 React here. Today we are looking at Tomb Raider 1 to 3 Remastered. This came out on the 14th of February 2024, so yesterday at the time of recording this. Now, this is a pretty good remaster from what I've seen so far. The only thing I've noticed mainly is that there's no graphics options, which is a bit odd, but it does have a whole bunch of control options. So you can go from tank controls to modern controls. You can change all sorts of things here, and it's developed by the developer Aspyr and published by them as well. It's available from the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, 5, Windows, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. And apparently the modern control settings are inspired from the Crystal Dynamics rebooted Tomb Raider Trilogy, Legend, Anniversary, and Underworld. So the way to play Lara in modern mode is so very different, so we're going to check that out at some point. And I believe Saber Interactive had something to do with it, and they did the graphical remaster for Halo, and it also has the exact same thing that Halo did, in that you can flick between the old and new graphics seamlessly. And it also includes the additional levels such as Unfinished Business and Golden Mask, and then 3 Lost Artifact. Not only has it got the remastered graphics, it's also got the additional levels. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to check out Lara's home. Oh yes, the FMVs are all remastered as well. AI upscale. Actually, that looks like it might not be AI upscale. That might be a basic scaler.
Welcome to my home. I'll take you on a guided tour. Use the D-pad to go into the music room.
It looks very, very clean. I was worried that this was going to be a bit like the GTA Remastered Trilogy. It had that kind of vibe to it, but it doesn't seem to be that, at least from what I've seen. But we'll have a look as we go forward. So you can see there, you can move the camera around. It supports the Xbox controller, so that's what I'm using at the moment. You press the start button, you go back to the classic graphics, and it's also using nearest neighbor textures there. It's also got the widescreen fix as well, it looks like. So this pretty much removes the need to have to use the old Tomb Raiders and use DG Voodoo 2 to get it to run on modern hardware, and it also removes the need to have to put on the widescreen fix. It's kind of an all-in-one package. I really appreciate when they do this, because it means then you can play the game in its original form and also with the new graphics seamlessly. Like I said though, the weird thing is that there is no graphics options. There's no VSync, there's no frame limiting, there's no adjustment of textures or anti-aliasing or anything like that. It just runs at your desktop frame rate and your desktop resolution. So this will be 4K running about 100 FPS. Haven't seen any drop in FPS yet. See how that picture on the wall changes. Oh my god, I've seen that picture on the wall before. Oh, it's a famous, I think it's a famous picture, isn't it?
Let's do some exercises.
Yeah, there you go, you get an accomplishment for looking at the gold. And they've made the gold not as shiny as I'd liked, but they've still made it pretty shiny. There's the original gold. You can see the lack of polygons. What was this made with? Was this made with quads or something? Because that's what the Sega Saturn originally supported, and that's what the game originally came out for. Something like that. Yeah, the geometric detail increases exponentially. Look at that. The night, and then boom. Brilliant. So let's check out the water in here. I think that what this is doing is update it to a modern level, but it's still trying to maintain the original art style, so it's not like super duper RTX water. Still, it's a hell of an improvement. I'll tell you what it reminds me of. It reminds me of the water in Battlezone 2. Not many volumetrics under the water, some probably faked caustics, which is fine, because you want to kind of keep the...
Right. Now I'd better take off these wet clothes.
You kind of want to keep the underwater areas clear and easy to see through, so that makes sense. Whereas the RTX version, it would get a little bit too cloudy with all the volumetrics. So let's dive into the first level. Okay, so here we are. First level. Nice little extra snow effects. Oh yeah, look at the difference. It's not quite as good as the RTX version in some ways, but in some other ways it's a bit more toned down in its representation. For instance, the lighting isn't as strong, there's not much strong bump mapping. Oh, there's a nice specular effect on that snow. Again, just flick back. Wow. Yeah. See, the PS1 version is still quite scary because that view distance is so restrictive. It just feels very abstract and otherworldly. Whereas it's just not as freaky. Bat models look good though. You free move the camera around as you're running. That's cool. And her hair is longer in the remaster with the physics. That's pretty cool. The funny thing is that the actual physics of how Lara moves was so good on the original back in 1996 that you don't need to change how that feels at all moving over to the new graphics. So it's really interesting how Tomb Raider kind of nailed that years ago. And now when you update the graphics, the feeling of the movement still feels perfectly good. There's a few extra little context clues there to help you out, but you can turn those off if you wish. Yeah, there we go. There's some imposters, some 2D sprites. Flick over and they've become proper geometric rocks. Now it's good that they've enabled the old school textures, because there's one in Tomb Raider 2, the first level in Tomb Raider 2, where the textures look so horrible with Nearest Neighbor. It'll be very interesting to see how vastly improved that is with the new graphics. It's just a shame they didn't go the full night dive route and allow you to really tweak the original graphics here, because that way you could flick between the graphics but then also enable the original graphics to have texture filtering, stuff like that. Save crystals should be coming up soon. I really want to see if they have that original frame buffer trick. Oh, there is no save crystal, because you can, presumably you can now save at any point. Let's have a look at that bear. There's the original bear. New bear. Bear and bat. Wow. Here we go, there's the corpse, skeleton corpse imposter here. So again, that's a 2D sprite that's always facing the camera. And the new graphics. Ooh, oh, wow. Oh, that's well better. That's far more improved. I mean, it sounds obvious to say, but when you look at the sprite there, it's just kind of, oh yeah, it's a skeleton sprite. And then the new graphics, it's like, oh, someone was horribly tied up and left there to die. Okay, so in some ways, the new graphics are more freaky than the old graphics. You can see Lara's shadow there, looks like a shadow map. There's not even an INI file where you can adjust the resolution of the shadow maps or anything like that. So unfortunately, you're just left with the graphical settings there. It's also oddly, it looks like there's a sort of circle shadow beneath her, but then also the shadow mapped shadow. That's odd, because yeah, you got the original just blob shadow there, the original. But then there's also sort of a blob here as well as the shadow map shadow. Also, this top area here looks like it has a proper skybox in it with clouds and stuff. And then the original is just a block, because there were no skyboxes in Tomb Raider 1. Now, we've been playing with the tank controls. Let's go to the new controls, the modern controls. Whoa! Oh, that's really weird. Oh, that doesn't feel right at all. Still feels like she's got weight to her though, even in the original graphics. Which again just shows how well the original sort of quote-unquote physics of the original game were with the character. But yeah, that doesn't feel right at all, not having tank controls for Tomb Raider. I suppose you get used to it pretty easily. It's not a big deal. That's interesting. But again, it's good that they give you the choice. I mean, this works perfectly fine in the original sort of game, so... Uh-oh. What's the button to get the guns out in the new controls? There we go. No, wait. Oh, God. Okay, you have to hold like the left trigger and then press the right trigger to fire. Let's go back to the old tank controls. Also love how much they clean up the passport in like the old graphics and the new graphics. Really put a lot of detail into that passport. It's a very, very cool little touch. I like that. Oh man, look how much better that looks with the skybox, proper skybox, rather than just nothing. They've also kept Lara looking like Lara, the original Lara, but also kind of updated her to look a bit more like the first remake trilogy Lara. Nice balance. So I think the second level, oh, this artwork looks really nice. Here we go. Here's the RTX thumbnail bit. I'll put a card up now with a link to my original Tomb Raider RTX video from a couple of weeks ago. And I may do a comparison video between RTX and the remake. But yeah, this is much more subtle. Much more subtle. There's the original. And there we go. Should be a skybox up here, right? Yeah, there you go. Actual skybox. Well, there's just nothing there on the original. Just like stone. Wow. How long before someone puts RTX Remix on this? It's kind of like the whole Quake 2 RTX and then Quake 2 Remastered, then Quake 2 Remastered RTX thing. Oh, I love it. I love it. Love all the permutations. So, that is Tomb Raider 1, the first and a little bit of the second level. So what we're going to do now is head to Tomb Raider 2. So here we are back at the main menu. What we've got to do is press down to go to the next game. And here we are. So again, let's head into Lara's home. These loading screens are really nice. This is when the voice actor moved on from the Peep Show woman onto someone else. I keep saying Peep Show woman. Let me find her actual name. It's Shelley Blonde. And then it was Judith Gibbons in 2 and 3. And I'll have to find out who voiced her in 4 and 5 now as well. I hope they put 4 and 5 on this as well. It's interesting they've chosen to do 1 to 3, but then left out 4 and 5. Yeah, here's the old butler man with the new graphics. You see, everything else looks pretty anti-aliased, doesn't it? But his head doesn't. Oh my god. See, they've kept the artistic intent there. That's what I really like about it. And then, of course, Tomb Raider 2 as they introduced the animated hair. Yeah, what anti-aliasing is being used here? It might be a temporal anti-aliasing because that doesn't look quite as smooth. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit out and I'm going to go to NVIDIA control panel. I'm going to put FXAA on. See if we can get rid of those jaggies because it's not that there's no anti-aliasing. I think there's just not that much anti-aliasing. So interestingly, there's not even a new profile for this game at all, even with the newest drivers 55152. So we're just going to add a new profile for that. Just going to find the game, Tomb Raider 1 to 3 Remastered, Tomb 123 EXE, that should be the EXE that does it. Hit open, FXAA on. Right, let's boot back into the game and see how that looks. There we go, that looks a little bit better. His head looks a little bit more anti-alias, the trees in the distance look a little bit cleaner. Oh man, oh the original textures, yeah look, they're so vague. It's like, oh yeah, that's kind of vaguely, you can climb up that, but now it makes it clear that it's ropes.
Feel free to explore the rest of the house and garden.
Look how nice this looks. Oh, that's brilliant. See, in the original, it looks a lot more neater, but this one looks like it's a bit overgrown. Yeah, the new audio kicks in when you just flick over the graphics as well. A bit more reverb, echo sort of thing. Oh, the switch looks almost identical. That's brilliant. Oh, some specular on the floor there. I've noticed that the reflections like water in the floor there is not any sort of SSR or anything like that. It's literally just like a cube map specular sort of thing. Is it the third one where the fireplace is lit? I think it is, isn't it? They've taken the original intent of those pictures and updated them nicely as well. Look at that. Like, it's the exact same art style photo or painting, but updated. But I was really worried it was going to look stupid and have all sorts of ridiculous things with it, like the Grand Theft Auto trilogy. But, it doesn't. This room basically looks the same. Yeah, basically the same as Tomb Raider 1. It'll have the skybox. Oh no, it doesn't. Even in Tomb Raider 2, it's just a flat texture, but then an actual skybox in the new graphics. Look at the size of this kitchen. This is where it gets funny, because some of the things translate fine, but some of the old blocky nature of things, you can kind of get away with a ridiculous sink like that in the original graphics, because it's like, oh yeah, everyth's a block. Then when you move up to the new graphics, it's like, how ludicrously big is that sink? Like, how'd you do your dishes in there? Anyway, it's time to go into the first level. Okie dokie. So the other thing I was just thinking about there, watching the FMVs there, is that you don't want to update the graphics too much in-game, because then they'll deviate too far from the FMV graphics, which were always better than the actual in-game graphics. But still sort of maintain the same art style, so you want to still maintain that sort of continuity between in-game and the FMVs. Now this is the area where it just looks disgusting on modern displays in the original graphics. Oh yeah, look at that. I mean, it's not too bad when you've updated the whole game's resolution. Like if you were to put the original PS1 game and put this game on a modern display, even a 1080p display, it would just look horrendous. But it doesn't look as bad in a high resolution and with some anti-aliasing, but it still looks pretty horrendous. And then bam, much better. Oof, it just becomes so visually disjointed. It's really, oh my god! Whew. Yeah, it just becomes so visually cluttered, it's hard to see where to go, whereas, yeah, it cleans it up much better with some extra lighting there as well, to give a bit more of a feeling of location and make it a bit easier to see where you are. Again, nice skybox. Actual sunlight coming in, shadowing. It looks like some pre-baked lighting there, some very basic lighting on Lara. What I want to do is see if I can figure this bit out, because I remember playing the demo of this on PS1 a very long time ago and not being able to figure out where the hell to go. So I went back to the Crash Bandicoot 3 demo. Or was it the Crash Bandicoot 2 demo? I don't know. You see the water effect when she gets out of the water. Yeah, water dripping off of her. But no clothes wet effect like from GTA 5. Yeah, just the water dripping effect, which I think they either put in 3 or 4. Maybe there is some global illumination, you know? It looks like there might be a little bit, this game. So you can make loads of progress, and then one mistake with a jump, and then you go all the way back. What is that? What is that? What is that? Oh, there's even a secret over there that I'd never even seen before. A little dragon pickup. But it's so much more clearer to see on the new graphics. Look, it's another imposter. It almost blends in with the environment. And the context clues are also present in the original graphics as well, which is cool. So you can play through the original graphics with additional context clues to help you get through the level. That's cool. These textures look really good. Looks like there's depth to them. I almost keep thinking there's like parallel exclusion mapping or bump mapping. There's not. It's just a flat texture. Oh, there we go. Old school skyboxes where it just looks like a painting a few meters away. Yeah, there is some soft lighting, so I think there may be some either really nice pre-baked, which I imagine what it is, actually, and maybe a little bit of global illumination for the real-time objects. Like, obviously, Lara. Yeah, that lighting looks really soft. It looks like almost ray-traced. I think it may be pre-baked in, because obviously the lighting's not going to change, so you can bake that detail in easily. Wow. Oh my god, how many bullets can they take? Uh-oh. Yeah, look at the lighting. You have to really use your imagination with the original game at some points, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the new one, yeah, it makes it very clear what this area is. So we look at the old model. And the new model. Wow, look at the difference. Don't think there's any fur on these animals. The texturing is just a lot better. There you go, real time. Real time graphical changing with the key usage. Let's compare that cobweb. There's not even a cobweb there in the original. Classic Tomb Raider area where there's 3 ways to go and you have no idea which path to choose first. Let's go back to the old graphics. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, that skeleton is hilarious. Damn. Look at the difference here as well. Damn. I suppose that's the other thing, is that it's still a very blocky world, so they can't do too much with the graphics, otherwise it would conflict with the blocky nature of it. It's another challenge they must have had. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. How do these things even work? Oh god, look at the blood effect. See, I think there was a... Oh my god. I think there was a blood effect in Tomb Raider 3 in the water, but not in 1 and 2. But now there is, of course, with the remastered graphics. Oh god. Oh god. Oh my god, this is a nightmare. Ah! God damn it. Tomb Raider 2 is where it got ridiculously difficult, wasn't it? So let's go to Tomb Raider 3, which is the game that I originally played, probably about 20 years ago now. So this game has the most nostalgic value for me. So let's dive in. There we go. Look, finally, the fireplace is lit. Yeah, this is where our house was incredibly modified. There you go. I remember now. And then, boom. Again, the improved look of the floors there with the specular mapping. You can actually see what that is as well. Look, it's meant to be marble. You just can't tell in the original graphics. Like, what is that supposed to be? You can't tell if it's carpet or metal. You can clearly tell it's marble in the new graphics.
Feel free to take a look around.
This is where the graphics were updated to a really nice point with 3, even in the original. The most familiar for me. I really hope they do this with 4 and 5. Because yeah, obviously the original graphics in Tomb Raider 3 still look old, obviously. But because of the iterative improvements between 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, this one just looks so superior to 1 and 2. Well, the cello thing's gone. And when I went back to play the original 1 and 2, I could never quite get used to the graphics because they lacked the, I think, yeah, the dynamic lighting. That's it. I think they made the hair animation a bit better. There's dynamic lighting. The fire effect was a proper 3D effect rather than a sprite. There he is. Yeah, I'm not going to lock him in the freezer though. Yeah, the house is just so much more fleshed out. This was 1998. They were able to use the power of the PS1 so much more, and they'd gotten used to programming it so much more that they could get much more out of it in terms of geometric detail, objects in the scene, and a lot less empty than the first 2 games, which is why the first 2 games have a much more creepy feel to them. Yeah, here we go, the pool room again. And there's the flame effects and the lighting effects that they added in. And the water effects as well, I think, looked a bit better. And I think the water surface moved. The water looks a lot better in every way. Yeah, wow. And there's actually a skybox up there as well. And of course, the modern day graphics just look basically the same throughout all 3. But the hair's kind of clipping. What's the head doing there? There's something odd going with the hair there. Look at that. That's, it looks like a bit of a bug. Anyway, let's head outside. Yeah, even the outside areas just look a lot cleaner in the original graphics. The other thing to note is, of course, is that it's using proper perspective correct textures rather than a fine texture mapping. Because, of course, the original game would have had a fine texture mapping. Just X and Y coordinates for mapping the textures to objects. So you had all sorts of warping, weird textures. These climbing textures look a lot better. Now, I think the butler has a bulletproof tray at this point. Where is he? There he is. So ridiculous. I mean, that's not safety approved at all. That is the Tomb Raider 3 house. Let's move on to the first level.
Yelling myself hoarse on this radio every day. It's just the weather dumps on us frequently here, and maybe my transmission doesn't get through. I don't know.
I can't understand one word of what you say, Willard.
It's all going swell, sir.
Think you better come and check out Site 2. What about this?
Blow through it. Found more meteorite.
Nah. Something a little younger than that.
Oh no! Billy!
I don't want you to set that explosive, do you hear me? I do not want you to set that explosive!
Wretched pyros. This place is a busy history.
Here we are on the opening level of Tomb Raider 3. Now if we flick to the original graphics, you can see the rain effects coming down there. The nice skybox, which is a little bit of an improvement over Tomb Raider 2's. The textures overall look better. There's still the limited draw distance, but it's less noticeable in 3. Now there is a hidden shotgun around here, but I can't remember how to get it. You know, it's almost exactly 2 years ago I was doing a little playthrough of Tomb Raider 3. I may have to pick it up again. Yeah, how much better does this look than 1 and 2? And then, boom, yeah, obviously the new graphics. Absolutely amazing. There you go, there's the puddles there with just a basic cube map in them, which is fine, makes sense. Oh, there is a save crystal in this. So why is there not a save crystal in the first game then? Weird. I like the water effects as well, it's very cool. Yeah, it's just literally rain just falling down the original. See, it just feels much more like a natural open area in 3. rather than a weird abstract sort of area with nothing in it. But again, the modern graphics, of course, enhance it massively. No idea what that crystal does. Let's check out the water effects out here. Wow, that looks really nice. Look at the colours in the sky and everything, the lighting. And then the old graphics. Again, the HUD-less sort of design of this game as well was really ahead of its time, like a decade ahead of its time. Completely suits now with the modern graphics. It's really impressive. It's a very impressive game, given how, frankly, ancient it is. Over to a zip line. That's so cool. The sky looks really nice. Again, just detail that's just not there in the original. Still a bizarrely square trees though. Oh, of course, yep, the piranhas down there, which are absolutely lethal. It's almost exactly 2 years ago I was playing through Tomb Raider 3. So not only have I got the nostalgia from originally playing this, but the nostalgia from... oh god. But the nostalgia from playing it 2 years ago as well. Double nostalgia. There we go, the classic boulder that activates when you pull a switch for some reason. Now I think... oh no, I'm not going to risk it, I'm not going to risk it! Yeah, oh, I thought the boulder may stop before the switch, but it doesn't. Good job I didn't risk that. I think this was the first game to have flares, because it's the first game to have the dynamic lighting. So let's light a flare. So there's the modern lighting. Doesn't look like too much dynamic shadowing from the leaves and trees and stuff, I don't think. And then the original. I still really like the original lighting effect. It looks really nice. Yeah, this level is actually... I think it's actually overall quite small, but the way you go through it makes it so much more larger. You've got the original boulder there with about 4 polygons on it, and then boom, the new one, much more geometrically complex. It looks like they've also avoided the thing they had in Halo where the new geometry didn't have collision on it and would get in your way versus the old geometry. It looks like they haven't done that with this one. Now this bit was always interesting because this felt like a weird internal area. Like it doesn't quite feel right in the original graphics. It feels like a hallway, but in the new one, there you go, you feel much more like you're actually in a jungle. Wow, look at the difference. Just kind of a bit of the sort of alien egg chamber fog there from the Who concert, and then yeah, a bit more spread out sort of fog effect in the new one. Also makes pickups look a lot more obvious, because look at that. I think that's where we're proving that this is pre-rendered lighting, because look, there's a much different lighting effect on that pickup than there is on the geometry. So here's the original spikes. See, we've gone... I don't think Tomb Raider 2 uses imposters so much anymore. It uses a lot more actual geometry, but still those spikes look way better, and it makes it much more clear that there's blood on them in the new graphics. The other thing here is how much they've maintained that art style, is these textures. So you've got the original texture there, which almost looks like it has a face in it, and then boom, upscaled. Perfect. Really nicely done. Obviously this isn't going to be like a super deep dive into the graphics. I may do another video if there's more about the graphics on this, but this looks like a pretty good remaster to me. I could be wrong. There could be a lot of stuff wrong with it further down the line, but from what I'm seeing just from playing the first levels of the games, this looks pretty damn good. So here we are in a nice watery sort of area. It's really nice. Got some waterfalls there. Really nice. It reminds me of 2006 for some reason. And then you press the old school graphics. Oh my god. Look at the difference there. That is immense. Here's a really interesting area. Lots and lots of water. A lot better than the first two, but still pretty fake. And then bam. Wow. Look at that skybox. Much more reflects the sort of time of day and the sort of weather they were going for as well. We can't check out everything, of course. There is one more thing I want to check out. I think that's going to be the South Pacific level, the start of that, because that's got a lot of water effects, so I just want to see what that looks like. And also Nevada, I'm very curious to see what that looks like. So here we are on the South Pacific Islands. And needless to say, it looks vastly improved. Obviously, the pre-rendered lighting there looks really nice. I think this is the level where I stopped playing a couple of years ago because I accidentally soft-locked myself and lost my save. Look how good that looks. And then, bam, old graphics. Wow. That's brilliant. But again, they've maintained the original art style really nicely. Had some waves there. Sound enhancements as well. Let's now go to Nevada. See, this really brings me back to 2 years ago. Almost exactly 2 years ago, I was playing the Nevada levels in Tomb Raider 3. And it's also when I started playing Halo Infinite. Wow. 2 years ago, man. It feels like 20 in itself. So nostalgic. And then there we go. There's the graphics. The original graphics. Wow. Again, just feels much more like you're actually in Nevada. Although even that skybox still maintains the sort of original 2D-ness of the original skybox. That's quite cool. So it looks a lot better, but it's still got that art style. And it really reminds me of the original Half-Life. So it feels like we're about to walk into Black Mesa. Brilliant. Now, let's go to the security compound and see how that looks in the updated graphics. Can we switch between the graphics? Yes, you can, even in cutscenes. Even the lighting in the original game, I still think looks really good. Like I said, vastly improved from the second game, especially the first game. That's so good. Going between the graphics, old and new in real time. That's brilliant. Yeah, this is it. The security compound with the heartbeat, the soundtrack. And the original demo of Tomb Raider 3 was sort of a mix of this and Area 51. Oh, that's great. Oh, if only they included the demos with this as well. That would have been a nice little cherry on top. I just wanted to see what this area was like. There's the old graphics. Whoa! Wow! It looks a lot less sci-fi, because this looks like something out of Independence Day. Whereas you press the new graphics and the lighting looks a lot less blue. So again, we're not going to look too deeply into this, but let's see what Area 51 looks like. Alright, so here we are. And in case you're wondering how I'm getting through this so quickly, I'm not actually playing through it. They've actually included cheat codes with the game as well, which is really cool. Including the ability to get all weapons and skip levels. Cool, so you can actually have a look through some of the weapons. Again, there's so much to look at this. I can make this video go on for ages, but I have to stop it at some point. So you can look at all the original weapons here in their low frame rate sort of glory, as well as the items. And then you can go boop over to the new graphics and see everything vastly updated. Look at the difference between the shotgun. That's a completely different shotgun entirely. Oh, the original Desert Eagle looks amazing though. The original weapons look great in all their blocky glory. And there's the Morpheus from the Matrix Revolutions MP5. Brilliant stuff. Look at that. Wow. Very cool. Oh yeah, let's see the light from this laser. Look at the original graphics. Oh, this brings me back. This brings me back to the demo disc, man. I'm telling you. Uh-oh. You can actually see a bit more in the new graphics because of the HDR lighting. So there's the new lighting. There's the old lighting. Wow. I can't remember what demo it was. I think I've still got it, but it's like demo 1 or something from 1998. It's got Tomb Raider 3, Crash Bandicoot 3, Abe's Exodus on it as well, maybe. A few other games from 1998. That is one good demo disc. When you absolutely have to put someone down in this game, it's the Desert Eagle. Really, really nice. Now let's check out one more level, just one more, and that's going to be the London level, because London looked absolutely ridiculous in Tomb Raider 3. So let's see what it looks like with the remastered graphics. Of course, this is where she's got the cat suit. Oh dear. Look, it actually looks like London. It actually looks like London. Whereas the original graphics sort of looks, like I said, it looks very vaguely, abstractly like London, in a very sort of dreamy, nightmare-y sort of way. Oh, that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. I love it. This is where, there's a bit here we got to do a ridiculous jump, I think across here to that corner bit. And it's like, how would you ever know to jump across there? Let's see. Yep, there you go. And you can take damage while doing it. Ludicrous. In fact, I remember playing this level, right, like 22 years ago, right? And, oh, some moving cloth over in that corner bit. There just needs to be more scaffolding around. Yeah, I remember playing this like 20 odd years ago. And I was playing this level through with a guide. Oh, God. And even with a guide, it gave me a headache. I think I said this on a video a couple of years ago. But it gave me a headache that was so bad. It lasted for like 3 days. And I couldn't look at a screen for like 3 days because of this level. So yeah, that is the Tomb Raider 1-3 Remastered Collection. It's now out on Steam and I think GOG and all usual platforms that I mentioned at the start. It's really, really good from what I've seen. It looks like they've maintained the original art style, updated things in a really nice way, enabled you to flick between the old and new graphics, which I always appreciate with a remaster, and removes the need to use CG Voodoo or any sort of widescreen patches. That wraps up this video. If it does well, I'll probably do a bit more of an in-depth video or a bit more of a playthrough of some of the other levels, and hopefully, like I said, there's an RTX mod for it as well, so we can get Tomb Raider Remastered RTX going. That would be really, really cool. Please leave a comment, let me know what you think. If you played the original games, what do you think of the remaster? Are there any problems that I've missed? Anything I need to have a look at? Subscribe for more videos on games and tech. Thanks for watching. Hope everyone's staying safe, and I will see you in the next video.